Happy Sunday everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm going to be doing the fourth and final part of the Reflect With Me series, and fittingly I have saved the personal growth and life goals section till last, and hopefully that will ship us in the correct direction for beginning the 23rd year of my life. As you guys can probably tell by now, I'm not like the biggest fan of looking straight into camera, so like my eyes wander everywhere. So I've decided that I will be drawing a random picture with my crayons and seeing how hideous it turns out by the end of this. Come and journal with me. We're back on the same couch as we were last week. Enjoy. Personal growth and life goals question number 1. What part of life surprised you most? I've got 2 things. So the first one is that I want to be single and I'm enjoying being single. And the second one is that I'm still doing my undergrad. I thought my undergrad was gonna last like 3 years, right? But now I'm in my 4th year of it and it's not been as straightforward as I thought it would be. And hi, Dad. Dad, go away, I'm shy! But yeah, what turned out as expected is that I'm still quite clueless about what I'm doing. I want to know what I'm doing, but I still don't, and I'm still taking it like one step at a time. Maybe I should change that to what is expected is that I'm still learning. What I'm gonna do is like draw with a different color at every stage. For the first question, I am going to be drawing something with the color Beautiful. I'm gonna draw a beautiful, independent lady. How do you differentiate a boy's figure and girl's figure? This is gorgeous. Still doing her undergrad, so I'm gonna make her hold a bag. I wrote the word uni inside like a handbag. This is not going well. Question number 2. What 3 things would you share with your teenage self? What 3 questions would you want to ask an older version of yourself? The 3 things I would tell my teenage self. Listen to your mom when she says someone or something is not good for you. Don't touch your wrists. Work out in the mornings and sleep early. The 3 questions I would ask my older self would be, should I focus on thing 1 or should I set out towards thing 2? When do I get into med school? When does life go back to normal, if ever? Color, ooh, fancy. For question 2, we have the color green. That was so boring compared to Beautiful. Oh my goodness, this is why I'm not the artistic one out of the siblings. Let's draw this on details. It doesn't look great. This sucks. Okay, so really, honestly, I thought I would have gotten better drawing by now, but I haven't. Question number 3. List 3 important goals. How do they match up to your goals from 5 years ago? The first one that I wrote down was med school. Second thing would be to get fit. I think ever since the 5 a.m. morning routines video, I've been trying to make more of a conscious effort to get fitter, whereas before it was just something I knew I had to work on, but not something I was doing something about. And the third one, which will last throughout my life, but right now I'm especially focused on, would be to get wiser. Comparing my goals now and my goals before, 1 out of the 3 goals that I listed as most important to me right now have to do with, like, I guess, academic performance and career, but the other 2 are more to do with my life. A lot of the goals that I considered most important 5 years ago were just to do with academics, and I guess that's fine because that was the stage of life that I was in. I think if I were to create a pie chart of what I considered important in life 5 years ago, academics would have taken up a much bigger chunk of the pie than it does today. We've got Scarlet. I am going to represent this with this. I'm not making a coherent picture. Why is the stand that big, Ira? It looks like people... What's a sign for health? Like, what's something that represents health? Question 4. Do your goals truly reflect your desires, or do they reflect what someone else wants for you? Now they do. The main difference between my goal then and my goal now is not the goal itself, but really the motivation behind it. These goals reflect my desires and what I want in life, or what I want in the season of my life, whereas before it was driven by what I thought my parents would want, or my sisters would want, or, you know, things like that. Blue green. It's a really fancy name, I know. Oh, this sounds like no correct aspect, so anyone does right. Is this even the shape of a goal? No, it's not. Come on in. I literally tried to draw a soccer ball and forgot that it's like the are they hexagons or pentagons? Question 5 is, what helps you stay focused and motivated when you feel discouraged? My first reaction was thinking about the things that I said in my How to Study When You Don't Feel Like It video, which, shameless plug, I'll put it there. So aside from those things, I end up thinking about the long term. So I put on like a long-term mentality hat kind of thing. I just consider what the thing I'm working for is going towards and how it's going to give glory to God, not just in the future, but also in the present. I guess like if you're talking about physical action rather than a mental one that you can do by yourself, is having a social reset. I'm gonna reset my own mind space by going out and socializing with people. The next thing is like just to get happy. Usually this means that I have to forget the task I'm doing and go and start doing something else that makes me really happy. After that, it's easier to focus because my head is clearer. The most prominent emotion is no longer the discouragement. We're using orange. So socially distanced group having a beautiful picnic. Very nice. Always just need a bit of checkers in your life. That's it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. I keep trying to draw things 3D, which is like ruining it because I don't know how to. The picnic makes sense. The basket doesn't look like basket. Question number 6. What do you look forward to most in the future? This is gonna get me brownie points when I finally upload this and my parents watch it. So the thing I look forward to most in the future is being the one who's able to support my parents. They can retire peacefully and not have to work and not have to do all these stressful things, and I'll be able to support them and not worry about it. I'm so excited to see them finally get the rest they deserve. Just lounge on the couch and watch K-dramas or go for nice walks, or you know, even being able to fund maybe a holiday or a trip for just the two of them. I'm really looking forward to that. Green, yellow. I started off with beautiful and now I feel so let down because everything else is like very generic names. How do you draw old people? Well, I can't even draw normal people, so I don't know why I'm so ambitious. And I feel like old people always have hats. She looks like she's like, let's not give my mom a hat, but let's give her the old Asian woman trolley. That kind of just looks like a really big handbag. I think out of everything I've drawn so far today, this has looked the most accurate to what I was trying to do. Number 7, identify one area where you'd like to improve, then list 3 specific actions you can take to create that change. Being emotionally vulnerable to people who deserve it. I tend to clam up even when people, like, I trust them, but I'm just not good at sharing my emotions anymore. It changed somewhere down the line. I used to be quite okay with it and I used to love talking about the way I feel, but it changed somewhere down the line. I want to be better at letting people in. So 3 things that I can do to create that change. 1, I need to learn to talk about my feelings. I'm not talking like this where it's kind of like I've planned it and everything, but I need to learn to talk about the bad feelings as well, or even when I don't feel like talking. When I'm recording these, like I feel like talking because I've prepared it, but when I don't feel like talking, I still need to learn to talk about my feelings. I need to let go of the things that make me hesitant to trust the other person. Even though like I can trust them with so many things, as soon as it comes to my feelings and sharing that with them, I get really iffy. So I need to learn to let go of those maybe past experiences, the thoughts that cloud my mind and prevent me from actually sharing. The 3rd thing that I can do is to practice. Nicer way of saying just start. Carnation pink. I can recall very clearly picking up this crayon and being like, I can read the word carnation. It means pink. That was a useless story. Give a speech bubble to this. Uh-oh, I've mixed it with blue. Question 8 of what I am answering, because there's like a question I skipped. What do you most want to accomplish in life? I want to be able to equip the next generation. That can mean a lot of things. In every aspect of what I'm doing right now, I want to be able to equip the next generation. It's not something that's just gonna come once I'm old enough. It's something that I can start working on now. I like the thought that I'm not sitting here idly, not doing anything about it and just waiting for age to come before I start. For that, I was gonna say let us make babies, but that doesn't sound right. We're drawing with blue violet, again with the mixed colors. This one I read 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're so cute. So the final question for me, list 3 obstacles lying in the way of your contentment or happiness, then list 2 potential solutions to begin overcoming each obstacle. The reason I had trouble with this was because I'm like, well, I think I'm able to find happiness and contentment in every situation. But anyway, we worked with the question we got. I guess you could say COVID. First thing I guess that I would be doing to try to get over that obstacle would be to get vaccinated, so then I can see my family overseas, my friends overseas, and even family and friends within like 15 kilometers of me. And the other thing is make effort for interacting with my friends and family online. Number 2, graduation. This is not so much lying in the way of happiness, but more contentment. I'm not content not having graduated yet. Solutions to overcoming that. to graduate. Aside from that very obvious one, it'd be like appreciating each step, really just having fun with the experience while I'm having it with each subject, every prac or every interaction, every lecture. Number 3, out of all the answers I've got, my most proper answer is obviously my own mentality and my own mindset about why I can't be content or why I can't be happy about certain things. Because you know what, you can be in any situation and still be content and still be happy. Going to the word and praying and talking to God and just reorienting what you find is important can really help you figure out why it is that something is an obstacle to your happiness. Journaling as well, keeping a gratitude journal will help you realize the many things you have to be grateful for. Taking inspiration from people who have it worse but are still happy and are still content and are finding joy wherever they are or in whatever circumstance they're in. Because when you see people who have less, or you see people who have it worse off than you but they're able to be happy, it makes you again realize how many things you have that you should be grateful for. Sorry, my fingers weren't, I'm not gonna finish the rest of that sentence. Gray. I don't know how to do this one. Oh my gosh, my tummy is like mad at me. Ready for the big reveal. As inspired by my reflection on personal growth and life goals, I was able to create this very beautiful picture. If you can see that, that's a picture I've drawn, and that's me, and it's so I've got uni here in my bag and also like me being clueless. What on earth was the next thing? Oh yeah, I've got this path of like history and future. There's my little like Egyptian pharaoh drawing of my future self. I tried really hard to like draw myself with a bob cut, and then there's me with pigtails, but it looks terrible. I think this is the order, I've forgotten. I've got the picture of a balance, and it's a balance between life, which I drew with a heart, which is why it kind of looks like romance, and like studies and grades. So the A+, so the goals. Obviously, that's why I drew very badly the goal and the soccer ball that looks like the rims of a tire of a car. This one, I drew the picnic. That looked pretty cool. The social reset one, like inspiration, I think. So this is a picnic blanket, and that's my picnic basket, and this is just a random friend who literally their head looks like it's about to pop off because they've got like springs everywhere. I tried to make someone look happy, it just didn't work. So you got like my parents there, and they're retired and old and happy. Then you've also got next generation that I'm going to try to equip. Here's me getting better at talking about my feelings. So it's pointing to where I imagine my heart would be on this anatomically correct and proportionate person I've drawn. Oh yeah, the hurdle to happiness. And so I've just drawn the sun with a cute smiley face in the corner and just shining down its light on to the whole picture. But yes, that is it. Thank you guys so much for coming to this video. I've spent 4 weeks. This is a lie. I've not spent 4 weeks singing. This is filmed literally, like the second version just went up and I'm filming this 4th one because my Final Cut Pro my Final Cut Pro trial is running out and I don't want to buy it until like the next paycheck. So thank you so much for coming to the 4 weeks of the Reflect With Me series, the Reflect With Me videos. I have really enjoyed it. I've really liked looking inward and having time to reflect on these bigger things instead of just looking at each event or each big thing that happens in a single day. I think it's been a nice kind of a reset or a reorientation of my mind to kind of see where I'm at and what values are important to me at this season and this stage of my life before I turn 22. That is it from me today. I'm gonna go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday, and I hope you do too. I'll see you guys next week. My family is finally gonna be back in the videos with me. Get ready to turn down your volume again next week. Have a lovely week. God bless you. Bye.